am currently in the Gator. Luckily for us, the farmer has generously loaned us his 2 or 3, I think he's got 3 of these things, to get around, because we're working in like 3 different fields. We've probably got 3/4 of a mile to a mile between each section we've been working on. So yeah, super nice of the farmer to let us use his Gators. But that is what I'm doing. I am driving myself out to my beautiful Doosan hoe, and this is right along all the ditch that we've got to clean, and that is the agenda for today. We are on ditch cleaning duty again. I'm gonna run over the conveyor on the wheel trencher. Started to jump off last night. Taylor and Wyatt stayed late trying to get that fixed. They were unsuccessful, so that is the #1 thing on the agenda for them this morning, because that wheel machine, when it's not in a trench, is like 8 foot in the air. My first thing this morning is I'm gonna track over there and just dig a hole off to the side somewhere they can set that wheel down in, so that conveyor is actually at ground level for them. So we'll start there, then we'll come back over here and get back on ditch duty. My intention is to get some cool drone shots. I flew yesterday thinking that I got the drone shots, and as sometimes happens, I forgot to push record. So I got back to the room last night, offloaded all my footage, and was really irritated with myself because I didn't have the footage I thought I did. So we're gonna try that again this morning and get some sweet drone shots. So that being said, I am pulling up to the machine here. We'll catch you in the machine. So we're finally over here. I figured I would show you guys. This is where we're at. So the water has dropped significantly. Still getting good flow. Got a full-on creek running. We'll walk back here and look at the reservoir. Ooh, it's sloppy good. Sloppy good. So the water has definitely dropped, but there's still a lot more water to go. Whew. So yeah, we've got, I don't know, I would say a little more than half maybe. I may have to track back out there and kind of recut that channel a little better to get it to flow. But yeah, we're still working. I don't know if we'll get in here tomorrow or not. But yeah, I'm gonna catch you guys back in the machine. We'll dig these guys a hole for the wheel machine, and then we will go back to ditching. So see you in a minute. All right, we are here digging a hole. Like I said, there's nothing exact or scientific about this. It's literally just a hole that he can set that wheel down into to get the conveyor at eye level, so they're not working on ladders and off the side of the machine. I'm going to try to keep my spoils back a little bit so they actually have room to work on the machine without stomping on my piles. I will say this for Ohio, you guys have some shitty ground. This is all just sticky, wet clay. I'm not a fan. What's happening, Wyatt? How are you? Good. What you think? Clean a couple of these clay chunks out, and I think we can call that good. All right, Wyatt gave us the okay. We're pulling off this job. I'm taking my toys and going to another sandbox. Well, guess what, guys? Now we get to track again. We'll catch you in a little bit. You know, one of my favorite parts about doing tile work or anything in farmer field is you spend 45 minutes to an hour and a half a day just tracking around because it's so far between point A and point B. So here we are, still tracking. Just keep tracking, just keep tracking. You guessed it, we're still tracking. Breaking news, everyone. We're still tracking. Alright guys, we are back on ditching duty, and we're going to fire off this morning's video by talking about another concept that separates mediocre operators from good operators, and that is just continuing to try to be more efficient and changing your technique that you're using to get the job done quicker. So if you recall from the other day, maybe it was yesterday, I don't remember when I talked about it, I had started removing muck as far as I could reach upstream, and then I would come back and shape the ditch. And that worked. It made me more efficient. But in the meantime, I have developed a good way of talking. That's what I've developed. Sorry guys. Operating and talking at the same time, it's not always great. I have developed a new method that's even quicker. I think it's more efficient. I'm able to get through this ditch a lot quicker this way. I'm going through and literally just grabbing a huge scoop of the muck and moving forward. Scoop the muck, move forward. I'm not worried about being accurate. I'm not worried about keeping a grade. I'm not worried about shaping the ditch bank. All I'm worried about is getting the muck out of the hole. And you can see, like, we're moving forward a bucket width at a time with one scoop. And it gets the trench pretty dang, the ditch, I should say.
You know, I'm a professional.
Gets the ditch pretty dang clean at the bottom. But what this allows me to do now is you can kind of see where I left off there. I can go back there and I can make one, maybe two passes, and I have a completely clean ditch. My bucket's not overflowing with all the muck that's pushing back into the area I've already graded. It's just a much more efficient method. So all that to say, that's a very long-winded way for me to say that when you're a real operator, you're not just satisfied with doing the same thing because it's working and why change. Like, good operators are constantly looking for ways to improve their technique and get more efficient, get more productive. And this is just an example of one of those things where over time you're going to figure out new methods and new tricks that make your particular task a little faster. And I've said it before, you know, I don't clean ditches. This is the first time I've ever been involved in an operation like this, so I'm 100% learning as I go. And part of that learning process is don't just be satisfied with whatever you started with. You know, if I go watch my footage from day one when I was cleaning the ditch and look at what I'm doing now, I'd probably laugh at how slow it was. But that's just part of operating. Oh, that was a close one. Woo, that was a close one. Anyway, enough chit chat. Let's dig some ditches. You guys know me. I'm not going to be done chit chatting. I'm still going to chit chat. I talk to myself when the camera's off, so it's just nice to have a reason to talk to myself with the camera on. I will say it again, it is so dang satisfying getting these big old scoops of this nastiness. I mean, it's like zip popping good, man. By the way, we're coming up on that gas transmission line, so that's going to be exciting. The farmer claims that you can actually see the line during certain times of the year. So that sucker ain't deep. And I want to say it's like a 14-inch steel pipe or so. So they're going to be running high volume, high pressure through it, which means you don't want to hit it. Well, lucky for us, it's totally covered in reeds and cattails to where I can't see it. But it's shallow enough that I know I'm going to touch it. So that's exciting. But it's like I was telling Taylor, the one thing we got going for us is we're in a big hoe. I'm sorry, a little big hoe. I have a ditching bucket instead of a digging bucket. And that's thick steel wall pipe. And I'm not saying I want to graze the pipe, but it's not going to be the end of the world if I just rub up against it gently. I would absolutely be far more cautious if I had that digging bucket with teeth on, because you've actually got some cutting power with those babies. But with this ditching bucket, as long as I'm very, very gentle, I shouldn't cause any damage to that pipe. I'm hoping too, as I get closer to it, muck this all out, it's going to drop that water line so I can see it better. Or at all, really. Seeing it at all would be a win in my book right now. Tell you what, the consistency is changing back to where I can almost go back to doing 2 passes on this ditch and shaping it, but I mean, I'm making a video committed to my new technique. I'm not going to change now, damn it. Ooh. Like I said, my one complaint with this Doosan is it just needs another 1,000 pounds of counterweight and it would be a beast. But it is, I'm sure you guys have noticed in the videos, it's not tippy. I'm not to the point where I feel like I'm gonna tip forward, but it's just bouncy. It just needs a little more weight in the back to keep the ass on the ground, stop it from bouncing. If any of these trees I'm planting in the middle of the field are going to actually continue to grow. I was telling the farmer there's so much good organic material in this stuff that once it dries out, you ought to spread it in the field and disc it in. I mean, it is just, look at it, it's rich, black, delicious organics. What I'm hoping will happen is as I get closer to it, the slop will kind of come over and it'll actually show itself, because the farmer was saying this thing's pretty prevalent. We're about to find out though. it's not gonna participate. Well, I was really hoping that this stuff would all kind of slide over and we would be able to see it. There it is. I felt it. Boy, I wish that stuff would fall and drift a little further. I'd feel a lot more comfortable if I could actually see it. There it is. There it is. I don't know if you guys can see that, but the stuff's going right over top of it. That's the transmission line, and that's what you don't want to hit, because it will not be an enjoyable experience. So I'm gonna go over here and expose the other side, and then anything more than that is up to somebody else. And you're gonna notice I'm going nice and slow. That's in the off chance we've got a root or something wrapped around that line. I'm not just gonna go crazy. We're just gonna go nice and easy. When it comes to high pressure gas lines, it's always the best practice to be conservative. Between you and me, Alright, so I'll tell you my plan. I've got it pretty well exposed now. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go back. I'm actually going to shape my ditch up until this point, and then hopefully the water sloshing back and forth is going to wash out the stuff underneath the pipe, so that when I finally get back down here, I can clean out underneath it. So that's the strategy, that's the plan. We have successfully not blown ourselves up, so I would call it a good day. So with that being said, I'm going to shut off the camera and we'll catch you guys in a little bit.